I would say indexing to inflation, definitely. But as far as a nationwide federal $15 minimum wage, I don't think so. I think that would harm small businesses in very states. I don't think it's across the board kind of answer. But what I would put in its place is we don't have wage stagnation. We have union busting. That's what we have in this country. We've had it since I was organizing in 1970s and 80s. The textile workers, this is when the wage gap starts, when the 20% started to go up and the 80% go down, when we couldn't organize workers anymore. Sure, a lot of good jobs left the United States, but how hard these workers in fast food tried to organize. How hard. They've been out on the streets in 100 cities in the United States. But you think any boss would deal with them? Any boss would bargain with them? They can't form a union. And, you know, farm workers just don't have any protection of the National Labor Relations Act. This is a travesty in a country that should be progressing on labor rights. That's the way you raise wages. You get it unions easier to form, and you can have better wages. That's the way it should be done. But we're backtracking not only on labor rights, but also our democracy. Can you believe voter suppression? The Republicans are doing voter suppression across the country because they know it's the only way they can win. So I'm in favor of boosting the power of unions, getting it back to where it's a level playing field. So, Rufus, when your former boss went to see Steve Jobs out in California and asked him to bring some really good jobs back to America, some of these assembly jobs, make some product in America, Steve Jobs said, those jobs are gone. They're just gone. Now, Barack Obama could have just walked away, which he did do, or he could have said, just the same, I'm going to send my Commerce Secretary out here next week, and he'll talk with you a little bit about it and see if we can get some ideas. He should have followed up. We have been rolling over for big business for too long in America. This is where it's got to stop. We've got to get these jobs back here. And Foxconn Beach is going to make those phones in Wisconsin. You're going to have an American-made phone, but it took some doing.
Mr. Goldberg, do you have a question or comment?
Yes. I do support the $15 minimum wage. I understand about small businesses, and there could be an exemption for businesses with fewer than 50 employees. I understand that concern. But what gets me is when I hear McDonald's say, well, if we have to pay hamburger flippers more money, guess what you're going to have to pay for a Big Mac? Really? You're going to charge $15 for a Big Mac? I don't think so. I think we have to stop in this country getting browbeaten by big corporate America. This has been something that's happened traditionally. I think it's time it stopped. I think we also have to do more in terms of strengthening our labor unions. We need to overhaul that Janus decision with good legislation. So these are some things we have to do, but I do support a $15 minimum hour wage.
Ballinger?
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned the argument that business makes that they'd have to raise the prices if they raise the wages. Well, we heard this from all the shoe companies that left our shores, and I was the one who followed this story the most carefully, and I was one who brought the Nike story to the United States. And you know what? New Balance is making shoes right here in the 3rd District. New Balance got the labor cost differential between China and Massachusetts down to $250 per pair. The labor cost differential down to $250 a pair. You can do this in America. And these people in Lawrence are happy to have those jobs at New Balance factory.